"I'm sorry, Zoe," Mrs. Patterson said, not quite meeting my daughter's eyes. "You're no longer needed at the rehearsal." I watched through the classroom window as my 10-year-old daughter blinked, confused. Her project materials were spread across the desk circuits, coding printouts, her carefully labeled microbot prototype. "But I was in the program," Zoe said quietly. My name was on the list. Before Mrs. Patterson could respond, Amanda appeared in the doorway, my sister-in-law. Arms folded, that smile she wore when she was about to say something cruel disguised as helpful. "This showcase is for advanced students only, sweetie. You'll understand when you're older." The other parents in the room, Amanda's friends, naturally exchanged glances. A few smirked. One actually laughed. Zoe didn't cry. Not there. She just nodded, packed her circuit board and notebook with careful precision, and walked out of that classroom with her head up. But I saw her hands shaking, and I saw Amanda's satisfied smile as she turned back to where her daughter Tessa stood, surrounded by admiring mothers, holding a glitter-covered solar system diorama. "My name is Rachel Palmer. I'm 37 years old. I live in Oak Ridge, a quiet suburb where PTA politics matter more than actual education, and the school pickup line is full of Range Rovers and judgment. I have one daughter, Zoe, 10 years old, sharp as glass, observant, quiet. The kind of kid who watches everything, processes it all, and works twice as hard as anyone else just to prove she belongs. I also have a sister-in-law who thrives on competition, Amanda. Amanda married my brother Kyle 6 years ago. The moment she joined our family, she appointed herself alpha everything, alpha mom, alpha wife, alpha person, who needs constant validation through her daughter's achievements. Her daughter Tessa is 11. Nice enough, kid, when Amanda's not around. But Amanda has spent 11 years crafting Tessa into her personal trophy, piano lessons, math tutors, designer clothes, social media posts about every minor accomplishment. And every single one of those accomplishments comes with a dig at Zoe. Tessa got all A's again. So proud, some kids just have natural academic ability. Tessa's piano recital was beautiful. Not everyone is musically gifted, but she really shines. Tessa was chosen for the gifted program. We're so blessed. I know not every child is suited for advanced work. The subtext was always clear. Tessa was exceptional. Zoe was not. But here's what Amanda never understood. Zoe didn't need to be loud to be brilliant. Amanda and Kyle live 3 blocks away, close enough that we're expected at every family dinner. Close enough that Amanda can monitor everything Zoe does and make sure Tessa's always positioned as superior. I've watched Amanda for 6 years now. Watched her orchestrate birthday parties like military operations. Watched her brag about Tessa's achievements to anyone who'll listen. Watched her refer to my daughter as sweet but average with that condescending smile. Zoe never complained. She just listened, watched, worked harder. When Tessa got early acceptance into the gifted program, Zoe studied extra every night until she tested in the following year. When Tessa won a writing contest, Zoe started a blog about environmental science that got featured by the local library. When Tessa performed at a piano recital, Zoe taught herself to code. Amanda called it trying too hard. I called it determination. Kyle, my brother, Zoe's uncle saw it too, but he never said anything, never stood up to his wife. Just gave me apologetic looks across family dinners while Amanda held court. I'd learned to bite my tongue, to smile through the backhanded compliments, to protect Zoe from the worst of it, until the Innovation Showcase changed everything. Every year, Oak Ridge Elementary hosts an Innovation Showcase. 4th and 5th graders can submit projects, technology, science, arts, academic research. The best ones get selected to present to parents, teachers, and local media. It's a big deal. Gets covered by the local paper. Winners sometimes get scholarships for summer programs. Amanda had been talking about it since September. Tessa was going to present her solar system model. Amanda had already planned the outfit, the photos, the social media posts celebrating Tessa's inevitable triumph. Zoe worked quietly on something different. She'd been learning basic coding through online tutorials. Spent weeks designing what she called eco-bots, tiny robots that could detect moisture levels in soil and send signals to optimize watering schedules. Simple concept, but genuinely innovative for a 10-year-old working alone. She submitted her project in November, got accepted in December. That's when Amanda's campaign started. First, it was subtle. Comments at family dinners about how some projects are more showcase appropriate than others. Questions about whether Zoe had really done the work herself or if I'd helped too much. Suggestions that technical projects were too advanced for the elementary level. Then it escalated. Zoe came home one afternoon, unusually quiet. Her name had been removed from the project group chat. No explanation. Mrs. Patterson said there might be safety concerns, Zoe told me. Amanda mentioned something about exposed wires and fire hazards. Your project doesn't have exposed wires. I know, but Mrs. Patterson didn't check. She just removed me from the schedule. I called the school, left 3 messages. Got no response. Meanwhile, Amanda's social media filled with posts about the showcase, countdown photos, behind the scenes of Tessa's preparation process. Not one mention of Zoe, like my daughter had never been part of it at all. The breaking point came on a Tuesday evening. Zoe had been unusually quiet all afternoon. I found her in her room, staring at her poster board, the visual presentation she'd made to accompany her prototype. Mom? Her voice was small. Maybe I'm not good enough for these things. I sat beside her on the bed. What happened? Amanda said at lunch today that the showcase is for kids who are naturally smart. She said some kids have to work really hard just to be average, and that's okay, but they shouldn't take spots from kids who are actually gifted. My blood went cold. She said that to you? She said it to Aunt Carol, but loud enough that I could hear. Zoe handed me her poster board. All those hours of work. All that careful research and design. Maybe she's right, Zoe whispered. Maybe I shouldn't have tried. That broke me. Not anger, though. There was plenty of that. But seeing my brilliant, hard-working daughter doubt herself because my sister-in-law needed to feel superior, that broke something fundamental. I sat with Zoe on her bed, her poster board between us, looked at her face, trying so hard not to cry, trying to be brave. Zoe, look at me. She did, eyes watery but determined. You have 2 choices right now. We can fight this. The loud way, I can call the principal, make a scene, force them to put you back in the program. Or we can do this the smart way. What's the smart way? The way that makes sure no one ever underestimates you again. She wiped her eyes. How? Do you trust me? She nodded. Then let's show them what quiet brilliance looks like. I sent an email that night, not to the principal, not to Mrs. Patterson, to Mr. Ellis, the science teacher who'd seen Zoe's prototype during the submission process. Subject, Innovation Showcase, Zoe Palmer. Mr. Ellis, I'm writing about my daughter's removal from the Innovation Showcase. She was told her project posed safety concerns. I've attached photos of her prototype as you can see. It's fully insulated, battery-operated, and designed with safety standards in mind. I'm also attaching screenshots from the parent group chat where my sister-in-law discussed concerns about Zoe's project the day before it was removed from the schedule. Zoe worked on this project independently for 3 months. She learned coding basics, studied circuit design, and created something genuinely innovative. She deserves to present her work. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for fairness. Respectfully, Rachel Palmer. His response came at 6 a.m. the next morning. Mrs. Palmer, I saw Zoe's brilliance long before this showcase. Her project is extraordinary, genuinely advanced work for a student her age. I'm forwarding this to Principal Daniels immediately. This isn't just unfair, it's sabotage. Give me 24 hours. James Ellis. The call came the next afternoon. Principal Daniels' office. Could I bring Zoe after school? We walked in together. Principal Daniels, a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who'd seen every kind of parent drama, gestured for us to sit. Zoe, she said directly, Mr. Ellis showed me your project. It's remarkable. Truly advanced work. Zoe glanced at me, uncertain. I also reviewed the communications around your removal from the showcase. The concerns raised were unfounded, and the timing was suspicious. What does that mean? Zoe asked quietly. It means you were treated unfairly, and I'm going to fix it. Principal Daniels leaned forward. I'd like to add you back to the program, But not just as another presenter. I have something special in mind. What kind of special? The showcase runs for 90 minutes. We have 10 presenters scheduled. What if we saved you for last? A finale presentation, something the audience doesn't expect. I saw the spark return to Zoe's eyes. Why would you do that? Because sometimes, Principal Daniels said, the best response to being underestimated is being undeniable. The plan was simple. Zoe's name wouldn't appear on the printed program. No advance announcement. No parent group chat updates. As far as anyone knew, especially Amanda, Zoe was still excluded. Won't people ask questions? I asked Principal Daniels. Let them ask. I'll tell them we had to finalize some technical details. By the time the showcase happens, it'll be too late for anyone to interfere. Zoe and I worked on her presentation every evening that week, practiced her explanation, refined her demo, made sure everything was perfect. Meanwhile, Amanda's social media ramped up. Daily countdown posts, photos of Tessa rehearsing, humble brags about how blessed we are that Tessa was chosen for this honor. One post particularly stung. A photo of Tessa holding her solar system model with the caption, "Only the top 1% of students get this recognition. So proud of my naturally gifted girl. Number proud mom, number gifted kid, number not everyone can be special." I screenshot it, saved it, said nothing. The week before the showcase, Amanda went into overdrive. She custom-ordered t-shirts for the family Tessa's biggest fans in glittery letters, ordered cupcakes with Tessa's face, printed on them, bought a ring light for optimal photo opportunities. She coordinated the front row seating, made sure all her PTA friends would be there to witness Tessa's moment, and she made sure I knew about all of it. "It's such a special night," she told me at a family dinner. "I wish every child could experience this level of recognition. But I guess that's why it's so meaningful, it's selective." She looked directly at Zoe as she said it. Zoe kept eating her mashed potatoes, face neutral. But under the table, her hands were clenched. Kyle cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Amanda, maybe what? I'm just saying it's an honor. Right, Zoe? You understand?" Zoe looked up, met Amanda's eyes calmly. "I understand completely." The tone made Amanda pause. But she just smiled and went back to planning her daughter's coronation. 2 days before the showcase, Amanda posted an Instagram story that made my blood boil. It was a video from the rehearsal. The camera panned across the story, auditorium, past the stage, past the presenters, and landed on Zoe, sitting in the audience with her notebook. The caption, "When you don't make the cut, but still show up, number awkward but sweet." My phone started buzzing. Friends who'd seen it, asking if I was okay, asking what happened. I didn't respond. Just screenshot the story and sent it to Principal Daniels with one line, "For your records." Her response, "Noted. See you Thursday." That night, I found Zoe crying in her room. Not because of Amanda's post, she hadn't seen it, but because she was nervous. What if I mess up? Then you mess up. But Zoe, you're going to walk onto that stage and show everyone what you're made of. Not because you need to prove anything, but because your work deserves to be seen. What about Amanda? Amanda, I said carefully, is about to learn that loud doesn't mean right. The night before the showcase, Zoe couldn't sleep. I found her at midnight, hunched over her laptop, tweaking code for the 100th time. "Zoe, it's perfect. You need to rest. What if the connection doesn't work? What if the moisture sensor fails? What if, I interrupted gently, "You just trust that you've done good work?" She looked up at me. "I'm really nervous." "I know. That's how you know it matters. What if they laugh at me? Then they laugh. But they can't take away what you built. They can't take away what you know. And they definitely can't take away the fact that you earned your place on that stage." She nodded slowly, saved her work, closed the laptop. "Mom? Yeah? Thank you for not giving up on me." I hugged her tight. Never, not once, not ever. The showcase was scheduled for Thursday evening, 6 p.m. The gymnasium was transformed stage with proper lighting, rows of chairs, a tech station for presentations. Parents started arriving at 5:30. Amanda swept in like royalty, directing her entourage to the reserved front row seats. Tessa looked nervous but excited. Kyle gave me an awkward wave. I sat in the middle section with Zoe beside me. She wore her favorite dress, simple, blue, comfortable. No costume, no performance, just her. Amanda spotted us. Her smile was pure condescension as she made her way over. "Rachel! Zoe! So sweet that you came to support Tessa." "Wouldn't miss it," I said neutrally. "It's nice that Zoe can see what these showcase presentations look like. Maybe next year she'll be ready." Zoe looked up at Amanda. "Maybe." Something in Zoe's tone made Amanda pause. But then Mrs. Patterson called for everyone to take their seats, and Amanda hurried back to her front row throne. I squeezed Zoe's hand. She squeezed back. "Ready?" I whispered. "Ready." The showcase began with Principal Daniel's welcome remarks. Standard stuff, thanking parents, celebrating student innovation, explaining the format. Then the presentation started. First was a fourth grader with a project on recycling. Sweet, basic, parents clapped. Then a fifth grader with a report on historical monuments. Solid research, more applause. Tessa was sixth. She walked onto the stage holding her solar system model foam planets painted in glitter, suspended by fishing line. She'd memorized her presentation from note cards Amanda had written. "The solar system is very important," Tessa began. "There are 8 planets, and they go around the sun." It was fine, perfectly fine. Exactly what you'd expect from a well-prepared fifth grader with an involved parent. Amanda clapped louder than anyone. "That's my girl," she shouted, standing up before Tessa had even finished. People applauded politely. A few parents exchanged amused glances at Amanda's enthusiasm. Tessa bowed. Amanda took approximately 40 photos with her ring light setup, blocking the view of 3 other parents. The presentations continued. Art projects, book reports, a decent experiment with plant growth. All good work from good kids. As the 9th presenter finished, I felt Zoe tense beside me. Principal Daniels returned to the microphone. "Before we conclude tonight, I have one more presentation." Amanda started gathering her things, preparing for her dramatic exit to celebrate Tessa with the cupcakes waiting in the lobby. "This student's name isn't in your program. We had to make some last-minute adjustments to accommodate a truly exceptional project." Amanda paused, looked around, confused. "Sometimes," Principal Daniels continued, "brilliance doesn't need advanced publicity. It just needs an opportunity to shine. Please welcome Zoe Palmer to present her project on eco-responsive microbot technology." The gymnasium went silent, then gasps, whispers. Amanda's head whipped around to stare at me. Her face went through several emotions: shock, confusion, rage. I smiled. Surprise. Zoe stood, walked down the aisle with steady steps, climbed the stage stairs, positioned herself at the microphone with her prototype and laptop. Principal Daniels adjusted the mic to Zoe's height, gave her an encouraging nod, and stepped back. Zoe took a breath and began, "Hi, I'm Zoe Palmer. My project is about using simple robotics to solve environmental problems." Her voice was clear, confident, no note cards. "I built these microbots using basic circuit boards and moisture sensors. They're designed to detect soil moisture levels and send wireless signals to a control system. The goal is to optimize irrigation water only when and where it's needed, reducing waste." She pulled out her prototype, 2 small robots, each about the size of a deck of cards. "I'll demonstrate." She placed the robots in 2 small trays of soil, one dry, one wet, connected her laptop to the projection system. On the screen behind her, code appeared, then a simple interface with 2 indicators. The dry soil robot's light blinked red. The wet soil robot's light stayed green. The red signal means this soil needs water. The green means this soil is fine. The system can manage dozens of sensors simultaneously and create customized watering schedules. Someone in the audience gasped. A teacher stood up to see better. The code is basic Python. The sensors cost about $12 each. Everything can be built with supplies from a hardware store. It's designed to be accessible, so anyone can create a smarter, more sustainable garden or farm. She looked up from her laptop, made eye contact with the audience. "I built this because I think kids can solve real problems. We don't need expensive equipment or fancy labs. We just need curiosity and willingness to try." The gymnasium was completely silent. Then Mr. Ellis started clapping. Then another teacher. then a parent, then another. Within seconds, the entire room was on their feet. Standing ovation, whistles, actual cheers. Zoe stood there, prototype in hand, looking stunned. Principal Daniels returned to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what innovation looks like. Amanda didn't clap. She sat frozen in her front row seat, arms crossed, face red. The people around her were standing, applauding, but she remained seated. Tessa had been clapping enthusiastically until Amanda grabbed her arm and yanked her down. "We're leaving!" Amanda hissed, loud enough for several people to hear. She stormed toward the exit, dragging Tessa behind her. Kyle hesitated, started to follow, then stopped and looked back at the stage where Zoe was answering questions from fascinated teachers. He met my eyes across the gymnasium, mouthed, "I'm sorry." I just nodded. Let him go deal with his wife's meltdown. Because up on that stage, my daughter was explaining circuit diagrams to the school's STEM coordinator, while parents lined up to take photos of her prototype. After the showcase ended, the gymnasium cleared slowly. Parents kept stopping to congratulate Zoe, to ask questions, to request information about her project. Principal Daniels pulled me aside while Zoe talked to Mr. Ellis. "I want to apologize," she said. "We should have caught the sabotage sooner. We should have protected your daughter from that kind of interference. You fixed it when it mattered most. Still, Amanda's behavior was inappropriate. I'll be addressing it privately." "Don't," I said. She embarrassed herself far more effectively than any disciplinary action could. Principal Daniels smiled slightly. "True, but there will be a conversation about parents interfering with student opportunities." Before we left, Mr. Ellis approached Zoe. "I'm submitting your project to the district science competition, with your permission." Zoe's eyes went wide. "Really? Really? This is advanced work, Zoe. You should be recognized beyond this school." In the car on the way home, Zoe was quiet, processing. "You okay?" I asked. "I thought I'd be happier, but mostly I just feel tired." "That's normal. You've been carrying a lot of stress." "Mom, thank you for believing in me when Amanda didn't." "I didn't just believe in you, Zoe. I knew. There's a difference." The fallout was immediate and thorough. Someone had recorded Zoe's presentation and posted it to the school district's parent group on Facebook. By Friday morning, it had been shared over 100 times. Comments poured in. "This is incredible for a 10-year-old. Why wasn't she on the original program? My son says there was drama about her being removed. Anyone know what happened?" "I heard the PTA president's sister-in-law had her removed." "That's messed up." By Friday afternoon, the story had morphed into something bigger. Parents were asking questions. The PTA group chat was chaos. Amanda posted once, "People need to stop spreading rumors about my family. We've always supported all students." Someone replied with the screenshot of her Instagram story, the one where she'd mocked Zoe for not making the cut. Amanda deleted the post. Then her entire Instagram account. The next PTA meeting was scheduled for the following Tuesday. Amanda had been co-chair. She didn't show up. Neither did any of her core group. The meeting was sparse, awkward. Someone made a motion to review the Innovation Showcase selection process to ensure transparency and fairness. It passed unanimously. Kyle called me that evening. "Rachel, I'm sorry. She's humiliated, says she can't show her face at school anymore. That's not my problem, Kyle. I know. But she's still family. Family doesn't sabotage 10-year-olds because they're threatened by their success. Family doesn't mock children on social media. Family doesn't try to destroy opportunities out of petty jealousy." Silence. Then, "You're right. I should have said something sooner. I should have stopped her." "Yes, you should have. Is there any way to fix this?" "Not for me to fix, Kyle. Amanda needs to figure out who she wants to be, and you need to decide if you're going to keep enabling her. We haven't spoken since." A month after the showcase, an envelope arrived addressed to Zoe. State Science Exhibition, Junior Division. "Congratulations on your selection as a district representative. Your project, Eco-Responsive Microbot Irrigation Systems, has been chosen for state-level competition." Zoe read it 3 times. "I'm going to state?" "You're going to state. Will there be other kids there?" "Lots. Kids who worked just as hard as you. Kids who love science as much as you do. Will Amanda be there?" I laughed. "No, honey. Amanda will be busy helping Tessa prepare for her piano recital, which, according to a mutual friend, Amanda had been trying desperately to get covered by local media. So far, no one was interested in featuring a fifth grader playing chopsticks. We went to the park one Saturday afternoon, a few weeks before the state competition. Zoe was quiet, thoughtful. Mom? Yeah? I'm glad they uninvited me. I stopped walking. What? Why? She looked up at me, completely serious. Because if they hadn't, I would have just been another kid in the showcase, one of 10 presentations that people half-watched. And now I'm the kid who did something they couldn't ignore, the kid who got a standing ovation, the kid who's going to state. She paused. Amanda wanted to make me feel small, but she actually made me bigger. I pulled her into a hug. You made yourself bigger, Zoe, by being exactly who you are. Do you think she'll apologize? Probably not. Good. I don't need her apology. I just needed her to stop underestimating me. The state science exhibition was in March. Zoe placed third in her division, extraordinary for a first-time competitor at that level. She came home with a medal, a certificate, and an invitation to a summer STEM program at a local university. Amanda didn't acknowledge any of it. No text, no call, no social media post. But that was fine. We didn't need her validation. What we needed was what we'd built: confidence, resilience, proof that quiet brilliance doesn't need permission to shine. At the celebration dinner, Zoe raised her juice glass. To being underestimated, I clinked my glass against hers. And to proving them wrong by simply being yourself. If you're reading this and you've ever been underestimated by family, by teachers, by people who should have believed in you, remember Zoe's story. Remember that loud doesn't mean right, that popular doesn't mean correct, that being dismissed doesn't mean being diminished. The sweetest revenge isn't confrontation. It's not even winning. It's being so undeniably good at what you do that people have no choice but to acknowledge it. Amanda tried to make Zoe invisible. Instead, she gave her the motivation to become impossible to ignore. Sometimes the people who try to dim your light end up being the ones who show you exactly how bright you can shine. Zoe is 12 now. Still quiet, still observant, still brilliant, and nobody underestimates her anymore. Not even Amanda. Especially not Amanda.